Good afternoon, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, of course, I'm still thinking about mysticism to share a little bit more with you in this series of videos, at least. And I wanted to share something different. So today I was contemplating quite a bit all day about things like cause and effect and how so often what someone is experiencing today is a result of things that have happened long before. And we can think about that. If I had, a stream of becoming a doctor and then I finally become a doctor, as happened, it happened from working and thinking and studying and eventually got to the place of being a doctor, right? So that sort of idea, now that's academic and that's life that way. We can think about that for any jobs, but we can think about this in terms of life in general. And I can tell you that in terms of mysticism, I think I mentioned in another video that I've always thought that I was supposed to learn. My part of my journey was something about learning something from the other side to help people on this side. And so in this contemplation, I was thinking about this cause and effect. And I thought it's very interesting that I never knew how I was going to learn something from the other side. Um, Now, today, when I think about it, it seems so obvious, right? I mean, I just have to be here and I have to connect with something. And I didn't know how I was ever going to do that, but suddenly this door is opening this way, right? But I thought that when I work with grief recovery, it's so interesting to me that how someone is behaving today is so linked to things from the past, right? So that have shaped a person. And I think most people know this. So people will often say that, yeah, I saw my dad doing this. I saw my mom doing this. I saw my neighbor doing this. I saw my sibling doing this. This has shaped how I think and how I speak and how I act, right? So all of that happens. So I came across this quotation that I loved by who is it? By Gary Zukov, actually. And this quotation says, every action, thought, and feeling is motivated by an intention. And that intention is a cause that exists as one with an effect. As one with an effect. You hear that? What that means? It's again, intention exists as one with the effect. So the minute an intention is put into place, even by a thought, of course, if it's followed by words and then eventually action, this is all, happening in a particular direction, right? Yet, as he's saying, it exists as one with the effect. So, as soon as the intention is there, and you know that if you have a strong intention for anything, you've already put that intention out into the universe. And whether you're actively focusing on, I got to get there, somewhere in the background, it's constantly being fed, right? So, this same intention leading to an effect that's already on its way, right? Now, of course, in Miracles talks about this. I believe that a number of speakers talk about this. And I'd like to talk about this too, because in mysticism, I believe that this is part of the understanding because we're already putting things into motion in terms of an intention. I want you to know that, like I said, I have never thought of, oh, I want to be a mystic. And I certainly don't, I'm going to say limit myself to that sort of experience. I just know that it's becoming part of my experience as I'll say I focus more on healing and helping people heal. So whether through grief recovery or brain retraining. But I also recognize that I've got such a huge spiritual component as part of my practice. And this idea of recognizing something outside of us that's helping every single one of us, I find is so powerful. And I love helping clients understand this and understand how to use this power that is here to help us. And this to me is also connecting with the nature of the soul and understanding our soul. So I came across this beautiful quote by T.S. Eliot, which I think puts together my work very well, and certainly in terms of mysticism, even when we think about meditation and mindfulness. Mindfulness, we might be focusing on, I'm focusing on my breathing, I'm consciously aware, I'm mindfully aware of my breathing, I'm mindfully aware of how I'm sitting, of how I'm holding myself. And meditation too has very clear direction for how to hold oneself in alignment and how to clear the mind and that sort of idea. So there's a very specific way of practicing. And then, of course, we also know that it's not about getting to any goal, right? Now, some people will use meditation to either bring down blood pressure, to calm the nervous system, to help them sleep, to help blood pressure, could help the body in any sorts of ways. It could be in terms of aches and pains in the body, all sorts of ways that we can use meditation. But the intention is this union with a higher energy, right? So, this divine energy and this union or yoga with this energy. And it's not an active search, right? This is not something that we're intellectually doing. It's actually without thought, right? So, this quotation I thought summarized all of this really well together. And it's by T.S. Eliot, and it says, I said to my soul, be still and wait without hope. For hope would be hope for the wrong thing. Wait without love, for love would be love for the wrong thing. Yet there is faith, but the faith and the love are in the waiting. Wait without thought, for you are not ready for thought. So the darkness shall be the light, and stillness the dancing. And I so feel this, that again, how is it possible that in darkness our eyes are closed, right? Or many of us are not fixed on anything except closing our eyes. Sometimes people will have their eyes, half open, just kind of staring at a spot in front of them, that sort of idea. But it is kind of darkness, right? In terms of the mind, we're not focusing in on any sorts of particular idea or thought or even an image. And of course, I have used pictures or photos or sometimes looking out at the sun as something to look at, but we're not really looking, right? It's just we kind of see it and it's just a place to focus. But this is the thing, is in this process, I can tell you the mystical experiences I've had, and I've mentioned that this has really helped my life. I can tell you at the least easy time of my life was one of my most profound experiences. And in the least easy time of my life, let me tell you, I was crying a lot, I was sleeping a lot, and I was meditating a lot. And most of you know that my work with my clients is actually really, really important to me. So, me getting back on track was as much for me as it was for the work that I do with clients. So, I know that that was the energy that I was working through in that time and trying to get myself to a better spot. So, when people are in that spot, and I'm not the only person who's ever been in those sorts of spots, but if you've ever been in those sorts of spots, you know that sleeping, eating, maybe meditating if you're wise, and just getting through to the next day is kind of the most important experience that you're just trying to get through. And in that time when I was doing all this meditation, I had this profound meditation, and I'm going to say semi-mystical experience, because I had this flood of compassion pouring at me. I have never felt such a strong experience of compassion, and it flooded my entire system. And in that flooding of my entire system, you would think it would be for me, right? So it's because I'm looking at getting better in that experience. Well, let me tell you, it was about my ex. It was literally so much compassion that flooded to me for him and his experience. And it was just so incredible to me that, of course, forgiveness was very easy after that. And I didn't have to know the whys. I just had the compassion. And it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life so far. And I will be sharing more in this series on spirituality and, of course, about connecting with our divine natures, let's say, and mystical experiences that I've had that I'd like to share with you so that you can know what kind of benefit this may have for you. And I will say, don't look for the goal, look for focusing the mind on your truest heart desires and just silence the mind. I think that's going to be my closing statement for today. And I hope that you have learned something from this video and actually experienced something that I experienced that I'm happy to share with you today. I hope you have a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.